Welcome to the Love Loud. But in all seriousness, my wife and I have been married for 8 years now. Our marriage has had its up and downs, no infidelity, but lots of communication issues and other problems. We have always been Christians and have a church home, but we did not court the right way. We had sex throughout our courting season, and I know it takes two, but as a man, I take full responsibility for not putting a stop to that. And sometimes I feel the way we courted is a reflection of how our marriage has been.
This is an Iwegbus production.
Period. This has become one of my favoriteest segments. Welcome to the Love Loud with the Iwegbus.
Yes.
Here we answer all of your dating and relationship questions. And so we have a question that I did not pull up. What's up, y'all? First, I want to say thank y'all for what you are doing. It's refreshing seeing a godly couple give godly relationship advice. But in all seriousness, my wife and I have been married for 8 years now. Our marriage has had its up and downs, no infidelity. I thank him for clearing that up, by the way.
That's good.
Because it's like, what's ups and downs?
Yeah, what did you
What you do, bro?
Did you make the, you know what I'm saying? That's what you're thinking.
But lots of communication issues and other problems. I'm reading fast because it's a lot. We have always been Christians and have a church home, but we did not court the right way. We had sex throughout our courting season, and I know it takes two, but as a man, I take full responsibility for not putting a stop to that. And sometimes I feel the way we courted is a reflection of how our marriage has been. When we got married, we were youngish, so there was a lot of growing we had to do and a lot of things I didn't have together right away. Communication, consistent prayer life, certain expectations / boundaries. Fast forward, we both work full time and have kids. And the way of our relationship has been going, it cannot continue. I'm not perfect by any means. To this day, I still have my faults, but my main issue with her is that I seem to be the only one trying to keep the relationship together, initiating family meetings, apologizing first after fights, educating myself on being a more godly spouse, etc. Now she is doing these things, but less often. And from my perspective, it seems as though she doesn't care if the relationship gets stronger or falls apart. I know we are both tired with young kids and jobs and working to keep the relationship strong, but I want my wife to put just as much energy into fighting for me as she does into fighting with me. And when she doesn't, I honestly lose hope in the future of our marriage. I know it's not always going to be 50-50, and sometimes one spouse will pull more weight than the other, but after a while, it seems like it's more on me and I am tired. What advice would you give to a spouse who feels like the success of their relationship is all on them, and the spouse consistently seems to have less energy for the relationship and doesn't take much initiation to get better? Thanks in advance for keeping it real. I won't read the PS because that was good.
Yeah. Hey, listen, first off, thank you for just such all the details, because the detail really helps us on how to answer this situation. So, number one, I love it that they're taking accountability.
Yes.
They're taking accountability and saying, listen, when we was courting, we was getting it on.
Right.
Hey, it didn't stop. I should have stopped it.
Yeah.
As a man, first off, I commend him as a man for saying, listen, I should have stopped that. You know what I'm saying? And so that just shows this brother's character to just say that I should have stopped that. We shouldn't have been doing what we was doing. And then also understand that's probably why I'm dealing with some of the consequences that I'm dealing with. So he already understands that part of it.
Half the part.
That's half the part
Literally.
of it. So what, just listening to this, and I believe they're both believers, right? That's what it is. They're both believers. So we're all good. He's feeling like she's just not trying to grow.
Yeah.
I guess she's just going by the whim. And so my first thing here is, listen, it sounds like, I wonder, and I'm gonna put this out, if you have another spouse and there's a disconnect and you feel like you're just doing everything, I wonder, how often are you dating? I think that sometimes that is a reason why we don't reconnect in any type of form and way, is life can just be lifing, working, cooking, cleaning. You think she's disconnected, she's not trying to get better, but really, is it that you ain't talked to her in a minute? You don't see where her head at. You don't know what it is that she watching. You over there doing your thing while you're growing and you're learning and all that. She's on the other side watching YouTube and going through and going to work, and you don't know what's going on there as well. And maybe we're not making a commitment to stay connected. I believe it was a couple. We met a couple one time here at the pool, and I remember them saying that they do something like 222 or something like that. And it was like every 2 weeks they go on a date. Every 2 months they go on like a away trip with just them.
Mm.
I believe it's every 2 months or something. Every 2 years they do like a family trip together. And I was like, you know what? That's great. And I think they had been married for some up 10 years or whatever. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do that. And when we started making sure that we went on dates every 2 weeks, like we said, hey, that's a
Non-negotiable.
non-negotiable,
Yeah.
is that we got to sit down and make sure that we're still friends, laugh, have a great time.
Yeah.
I'm talking about not no stuff. We ain't talking about church or any of that
The
stuff.
kids.
Nah, kids, man, we laughing about whatever it is that we seeing. We're just, man, when I do that with you every 2 weeks, it's the best time of my life. And it makes me realize and remember why it is that I married this woman,
Yeah.
why I fell in love with her. And I believe that it may be something that's missing with you guys' connection as well. And that's what she needs to see. This is the man. This is why I like you.
Right.
You so cool. You used to do those things. Be on big boyfriend energy, man. That's what one of my mentors said. He said, man, I'm on big boyfriend energy. Oh yeah, I'm doing all of that. Everything that I did to get her, I'm continuing to do those things, man. So I wonder, when was the last time you brought them flowers home? When you just gave her a surprise massage on her feet and all of that, without trying to get some. You know what I'm saying? Like
Because that's the part.
in intimacy, when you making sure she getting hers first. You feel me? It's those type of things that it's that sacrificial love. And it seems like you're doing some of those things.
Definitely.
But I'm just wanting to give you some keys to maybe help you push it just a little bit further. And lastly, be assertive, man. This is your house. That's your house. God put you in charge. And I always say this thing, I always have this thing in my mind that, like, I know that I'm gonna stand before the throne of the Lord, and I have to give account for how I led my wife. And I just wonder, I said, what if what if God was like a manager? He came to see if he stepped in my household, he came to see and check up on things and see how things are going.
Yeah.
Like, think about if he stepped in your house, would he like the way that you're treating her? Would he like the way that you're helping her grow and all those things? Will he like the way that you're leading?
Yeah.
And so I think you got to be assertive and say, no, hey, listen, there were some things I had to cause some holy ruckus sometimes with some things that maybe I didn't like from my wife. Maybe it may have been something that she was listening to, or maybe she didn't feel particularly okay about that we need to, a certain pastor or whatever. But I'm like, no, this is what we watching today. This is what's happening. It's your house. Straight up. You were put in charge. Make sure that you are doing those things to be assertive, man. It's your household. Um, you know, pray about it and don't be a dictator. But at the same time, it's like some things, man, it's like, no, hey, by the word, if she's about the word, hey, this is what we doing. No, I don't care. This is where we going on Sunday.
Yeah.
Hey, yes, hey, guess what? We're getting into this program. Yeah, and I need you to actually schedule some time to actually watch the same program and the videos that I'm watching, or be in this mentorship program. But what do you think, babe?
That was really good, babe. That was
Thank you.
excellent. The first thing that actually popped out to me was just I wonder where your wife is as far as emotionally and as far as her just overstimulation. Because I know it said that you have small kids, working, cleaning, all the things that can go in with a woman hormonally. She can just be really exhausted. But it is something different when a woman is kind of tapped out in a relationship. It's something really different, because a man could just be tapped out because he ain't making money, finances ain't right. But a woman, it's typically always something emotionally lacking, or it is something hormonally. And so that was the first thing that I that popped up in my spirit. Like, I'm wondering, how does she feel like her task is? Because there was a time that I was absolutely drained. I'm like, how dare you try to get some at the end of the night? Do you see what I just did in this household? Like, no, what are you talking about? I just wiped down every window and your kids were screaming and cooking, and then you want to touch me? Yeah. So I think about that. But then I also thought, even through those times, how my love tank was empty and how we weren't going on dates and how he wasn't feeding into my love language and how he wasn't, you know what I'm saying? So what's your wife's love language? What can you take off of her plate to allow her to not be so exhausted so she can be, because it sounds like she's kind of absent. And I want to say, y'all, in his PS, he made sure to let us know his wife is stepping up. She has done some things. Like, she's not a bad person. Right. He just wants her to do a little bit more. Yeah. And so I always go over to the mommy wife side. Like, what is on her plate that you possibly can take off? And she can kind of see you just stepping in her zone a little bit and then pouring into her. Yes, date her. Yeah. Yes, massage her. Yes, bring flowers home or whatever she likes. Yeah. If it's candles, if it's her favorite Starbucks drink, if it's hey baby, I just bought your, I just paid for you to get a quick little massage. I just paid for you to get your back cracked, whatever, do that. But yes, you are the man of the household. So if you got Bible study or certain things set up, you want to express in loving masculinity that's what y'all gonna do, right? So love her and lead her in those areas, but also know that you're the man of the household. Last thing, I'm wondering what her friendships are looking like. Is she around other God-fearing women that are submissive to their husbands, that are they really strive for healthy relationships? Also asking, what is her filter for marriage? Is her parents married? Did she see marriage? No matter, I know you said y'all was together for 8 years or been married, and that's that's some time, but you always got to look back, like, what did she learn about being a wife? What did she learn about being a God-fearing wife? So there has to be some grace given to that, because we don't know. I don't know her filter, right? What she's seeing all of this through. But the main thing that I want to give to you to just encourage you is, yes, there are seasons, bro. And listen, I'm gonna lean in on this one. There are absolutely seasons where one spouse is holding everything down. Yeah. And that is what the world won't tell you. There is, and sometimes them seasons are long. Sometimes them seasons are back to back to back to back. I've been in the seat of holding it down and fighting for us when I felt like my husband was not present, when I felt like he had dipped off and he was in his sadness and the kids and all kinds of stuff, and I'm fighting. Yeah. So know that you're not alone. And a lot of spouses feel like that. And if she is at least loving the Lord and y'all are going to church and y'all got some community, it's going to work out. Just don't lose hope and don't lose faith in staying in the game. I get what you're saying. Like, it can feel hopeless. It can feel like, okay, like, hello. Yeah. But it's giving it might be a little lack of romance. Is that what
lack of romance,
lack of friendship,
or just not in there may not be a real true understanding of how each person is wired. So I was going to add in that maybe something like one of the things that blessed us is the DISC assessment. And particularly a program that we're in had a certain type of DISC assessment that really gave us some details that helped me understand how you're wired versus how I'm wired, what you lean towards versus how I lean toward, because we were looking at each other like we some aliens, like, what's wrong with you? Like, right. And this is, no, you're different.
We're opposites.
We're total opposites in personality and what we're into. And so that helped me communicate with her and really reach her in a way that is effective. So I would tell you maybe something like the DISC assessment. And one day I'm gonna have to bring Dewan on here, man. Dewan Matunga.
There's so many tests, y'all.
Yeah, that really helped.
Be obsessed with learning one another. Yeah. Be obsessed with it. It's not just DISC assessment. It's love language. Yep. It's asking questions. There's there's several card decks that you can just continuously learn about one another, because a lot of times men be taking women out on dates and don't be talking.
Yeah, you can use the Gottman card decks is an app, and you can go in there and they have so many different things. I've used it on dates because you've been around each other for a minute, so you feel like, what is it you probably talk every day, talk every night, like, what is it to talk about? And you will get some of these questions on there, like, where do you see us in 5 years? What do you think about our kids? Right.
This making me want to go grab them.
I got the Godman right here.
Y'all, this is very raw.
Okay. But yeah, you want to ask some real raw questions that maybe you haven't never thought about before. And I'm telling you, some of these card decks can be very helpful on the date. So it's just not boring. And you're like, dang, we already talked about that. Like we need something new to talk about.
So this is one of the decks that we really love by, oh wow, did all that for y'all to not see it.
Yeah, they can't see
tonight's conversation.
Yep.
This is the couples deck, connecting couples, and these are like really in-depth questions that you can just kind of learn the wiring of your partner. I can't even hear myself, but learn the wiring, because like you said, I think as you get deeper into the years of marriage, you do get to a point where you're like, I know them. Like my husband has just recently changed again, and I'm like, okay. All right. Like, okay. Like I've changed so much, and this might be for you, bro. Like you might be changing and your wife don't even know how to adapt to it.
Yeah.
Like she like, who is this man like trying to read books and go to these classes and this and that? Like recently Namdi had a sit down with me like, hey, this is what I'm about to be. This is who I am. And I'm like, all right, like that's something new that I have to adjust to. Yeah, question like this: what do you feel the weakest part of our relationship is? Stuff like that, where you can like, you wouldn't think to necessarily how your week been. Oh, it's been good. Yeah, what you want to get? Probably gonna get the steak. Oh yeah. You look good, baby. And then y'all have sex, and what I'm saying? Like, no, these actually get into the wiring. So that's what I would encourage. I think we're both kind of feeling like amp up the romance, and amp up learning and being obsessed about one another. So that's the love lounge for today.
This is an Iwegbus production.
Period.
Hey, thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you could do us a huge favor, please hit that like button and please subscribe.
Yes, and please do not forget to hit that notification bell. We need y'all to be locked in every single time we drop this fire content. Also, we need y'all to follow us on all social media platforms at the Iwegbus. And look, we will see y'all on the next video.